Yeah, welcome back to a brand new episode of The Culture, the hottest broadcast in the game. Go to my playlist section. We have already released over 20 episodes and we have an entire playlist dedicated to this series. Now, in this series, we shine a light on who's really committing some of the most heinous crimes in the United States and around the world. This project was inspired by years of me listening to certain conservative voices in the media focus on so-called crime in the black community as if crime was something that was unique to us. So that pushed me to dig deeper into the true crime data, the true headlines and the statistics to see where the true criminality is actually coming from. Now, let's get into today's episode. Now, today, like I said, man, it's actually very ironic because one thing that I always said, one of my criticisms of Charlie Kirk was that he spent a disproportionate amount of time talking about what's taking place in the black community, his thoughts and opinions on how the black community can do things this way and that way, giving his 2 cents on what the black community can do and where they can improve. But he never not once spent at least half of the amount of time talking about the events taking place inside his own community, the criminal activity happening inside his own community, right? And in fact, it was guys like Charlie Kirk that inspired the culture, that inspired this series, that inspired this broadcast, because I felt like since he doesn't want to talk about his own community, then the lane is wide open for me, right? If you don't want to do it, then that means the lane is wide open for me to do it. And even though we've just started this brand new project, this brand new broadcast, it's been a smash hit so far. It's been a success so far. You know, the audience, the people are resonating with it because it's brand new, it's fresh, you know, it's very unique. It's much more acceptable to talk about what's happening in the black community. Give your thoughts and opinions on the black community. But we never really got a black man, you know, what does the black man think about the white community, right? We never got a black man to flip that on its head. So, you know, that's why the culture is so amazing. But now in today's video, we're talking about a pastor, right? A former pastor, I should say, right? A man of God, right? Similar to Charlie Kirk, who was recently arrested for some terrible criminal activity, right? We're going to get into it very soon. But that really goes to show, man, these same individuals who have so much to say about the black man and what the black man doing, you don't even want to know what they're getting into behind the scenes, man. You don't even want to know the double lives they live in, what they hiding, they don't want to talk about in the mainstream. What is really happening in the gated communities across America? What is really happening in the redneck towns across America, them hillbilly towns across America, the trailer parks? What is happening in the residential suburbs across America? Welcome to the culture. Now, let's get into it, right? I'm going to get into the clip. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about a pastor, a Charlie Kirk fanboy, right? One of Charlie Kirk's, you know, big supporters, gave him an entire eulogy, gave him a sermon after he passed away, right? Has been arrested for some terrible crimes, man. Stay tuned. We're going to get into the intro. We're going to jump into the clip, and then we're going to get into today's episode of The Culture. Welcome to The Culture. Let's get into it.
If you didn't know already, white men make up 29% of the U.S. population, but are accounted for over 77% of the people caught with child, you know what.
What's that? Get away from me now, I'm gonna knock your off, son. Why is he doing this? I just want to leave. I've got my property, I just want to leave. I didn't touch him. Palms together. Why are you guys doing this? I didn't touch him.
And I don't want to scare anybody, but to take that thought to the logical conclusion, and maybe something I'm feeling right now, is the thought that it could happen right here. It could happen in this place. It could happen to me standing on this stage right now. No gathering is off limits, and no deed is too dark for the wickedness of hell. If it happened to him, what's it to stop it from happening to me or to you? The second thing is this: Charlie was incredibly gifted. Charlie was incredibly anointed. He was a role model. Most of the time when the world looked at him and said he's divisive and he uses dangerous rhetoric, that's not the case. Lies will always hate the truth, period. Lies will always try to reframe truth to say that it's dangerous. The man was a role model.
Now this story comes out of West Virginia. And the fella name is Kevin Jones. He was arrested, a so-called preacher. Jones was the lead pastor, soliciting children, minors, kids. There's a lot of them in the pulpit right now. There's a lot of them right now in the pulpit doing the same wicked things like this fella is doing, among others. You understand that? Me personally, I don't think creeps like this should be let out at all. You understand? That's just how I feel. I don't know about how y'all feel. I don't know how y'all feel, but I know how I feel. You understand? Especially if you got kids. Especially if you got daughters. And you got creeps like this out here who calls himself a preacher, a pastor, and want to utilize his position to do the wicked things that he's doing, has done. Now, a lot of them say, listen, this is my first time. I didn't mean to do it. Nah, I don't think so. I think a lot of these fellas like this been doing it. They just happen to get caught. A grown man, 33 years of age. 33. You understand? Listen, if you're in the pulpit right now, if you're watching this, or if you happen to come across this video, and you're doing things like this, and then you get caught, and then it's in a news article, and I get wind of it. Oh yeah, we're going to put it on the platform. We're going to expose false prophets and things like that, just like this fella. So-called preaching the word of the Lord, and thinking about minors, thinking about committing those type of activities to minors, to children, to kids. But you got these creeps out here downloading child pornography and stuff like that, trying to arrange meetings with kids and whatnot. You a so-called preacher? You understand? That goes for anybody. Preachers, teachers, coaches, doctors, police officers, church members. Even if you're doing it, you that's watching, if you engage in any type of these activities and whatnot, and you get arrested, and I get wind of it, oh, we're going to expose you.
Now, let's get into today's episode of The Coach, and not wasting no time, let's jump straight into this guy's story. Now, as you can see, take a look up on the screen, a former pastor facing felony charges for illegal images and videos involving minors. Now, where do we begin, man? Where do we begin? This series has just began. This series is not even a month old, to be honest. We already got about 20 episodes. Like I said, go to the playlist, start from the first episode, the first video, and watch it in chronological order. You've seen how we built this concept. You've seen how we noticed the patterns. You've seen how we debunked the narratives. And even me, myself, even though I'm on the microphone, I'm blown away at what has been hiding in plain sight. You know, back when the conservatives created, 1350, 13% of the population committing X amount of the crimes. And then I came back, I went in the lab and I came back with, 2977, right? 29% of the population, a certain demographic of men coming at almost 80% when it comes to cases regarding the exploitation of children. And at first I created it simply as a response to the hostile energy coming from their side of the political spectrum, right? Basically, at the time, my mentality was, you send a shot, I'm sending a shot back, right? You want to say the black man is prone to doing X, Y, and Z, this and that. I'm going to come back and I'm saying, from what I can observe, according to the federal data and the statistics and the United States Sentencing Commission, you are also prone, your demographic is also prone to engage in certain activities also. You want to have a conversation about that? And that was the inspiration for the series, The Culture. So I began to, keep track of the criminal activity happening in the white community, right? The same way they keep track of the criminal activity happening in the black community, right? So I started gathering intelligence on the adversary, right? And even though 2977 was simply a response to their hostility, as I began keeping track of the news, as we began documenting the news and making videos and having discussions about it, and you notice, certain criminal activity comes up again and again and again, every single day. Multiple arrests, multiple indictments, search warrants being executed upon your residence. And then what at first simply began as a response to their hostile energy, it actually showed me that we actually have a real problem in the country. We actually have a real problem in the country. Like, it's kind of crazy, and for those of y'all that have been watching the series since day one, you know what I'm talking about. When it comes to the children in this country, we have a real problem. And as the series gains more traction, of course, I get some of these guys coming into the comment section trying to have debates about the topic and things like that. But what I say to those guys is this: listen, instead of coming into the comment section and debating me on what the statistics say, on what the numbers say, on what the reality says, as somebody that documents the news every single day, instead of coming into my comment section and debating me about why your rate of crime is so high in certain sectors, you really need to focus on getting that number down to a decent level. There's no reason why 29% of the population should be just overwhelmingly just dominating in the most demonic areas of activity, right? coming in at over 70 to almost 80%. I've only had this news show for like a few weeks, right? And I'm just blown away at how many cases I have to go through every day, how many federal indictments come down every week. And these are prominent members of society, right? Like this guy, you know, a well-respected lead pastor at the church, right? But we've discussed, you know, congressmen, city commissioners, police officers, so many police officers, so many levels of law enforcement, the sheriffs, the state troopers, so many levels of law enforcement, the city commissioner, so many pastors. This is not the first pastor. To be honest, this is probably maybe the 7th or 8th or 9th, 10th pastor we've discussed on the series, and the series has only been running for a few weeks, right? So we've discussed deacons and pastors and Catholic priests. Still to this day, right now, the Catholic Church is still paying out lawsuits to victims, right? Victims, recent victims, ancient victims. The Catholic Church got a whole fund, a whole bank account with billions in it just for victims, right? So we discussed, like, listen, before you guys talk about black culture, you really need to have a conversation about what is happening in your culture. For real. Seriously. And if you're unfamiliar with the series, with the platform, go to my playlist section, right? Go to the playlist, The Culture, right? Start from the first video, man. Like I said, what started out as something very simple has begun to shine a light on something that's been laying beneath the surface of the society that we never decide to uncover, have a conversation about, right? We were too busy talking about the black man, what the black man doing, what the black man talking about, right? Yeah. Now, this guy was a big fan of Charlie Kirk. I'm pretty sure that he was a big fan of when Charlie Kirk was giving his opinion on the black community, you know? So he would go watch the Charlie Kirk video, right? And then, oh, yeah, tell those blacks, right? Yeah, Charlie speaking facts, and right? And then he go switch off and watch the illegal images and videos involving minors, right? This is what we dealing with. And that's what I have to remind myself when these guys want to debate me when it comes to this topic. Listen, if you are part of this demographic, you have to understand that The Culture, this series, was created as a reaction to the environment, right? So instead of you getting triggered by some of the things that I say or some of the things that I uncover, your main reaction should be, we need to decrease that number down. You shouldn't come into my comment section with an emotional reaction. The first thing that should come into your mind, if you're a man of honor and integrity, is we need to get that number down. Right? There's a certain sector of crime that we are highly engaged in. We are highly dominant. We are the leading figures. We are the main actors. And it's some of the most demonic type of crime known to man, right? So the first thing you should be thinking about is we need to get that number down. For the sake of society, for the sake of the children, we need to decrease that number. That number shouldn't be all the way up in the 70s, you know, damn near in the 80s. It shouldn't be that high, right? We can't be 29% of the population, right? And when it comes to the exploitation of the most vulnerable populations, we damn near hitting, you know, over 70% when it comes to crimes against those populations. No, you need to get that number down. That's my honest opinion. The same way the conservatives love giving their honest opinion on the black community, my honest opinion, that number should go down. That number shouldn't be all the way in the 70s, right? We're talking about children, bro. That number shouldn't be, you know, over 70%. Bro, come on, bro. For real, like no game, no joke. Like I'm being 100% serious. That number is way too high. It's way too many cases. Do you know that on The Culture, on the series, I don't even cover every single case that I come across because it's so many cases. Like there's a time limit on my video, so I don't even have enough, you know, time in the video to discuss how many cases like this come around. That's how frequent it is. That's how often it is, right? There are some cases I have to pass over, right? Because it's already so much. It's already too much to document. So sometimes some cases I don't even talk about, right? So like I said, man, y'all got to get it together, man. Anyway, let's get into this guy's story. A former pastor of the Summit Church in West Virginia, Kevin Curtis Jones, is now facing 2 separate felony charges after a law enforcement investigation. Mr. Jones, who is a married man and a lead pastor, was initially arrested on October 1st for soliciting a minor, a felony. The first complaint says Mr. Jones used a communication device to contact the victim and attempted to lure the victim into a clandestine relationship. Following a search warrant on his electronic devices, a new charge was filed: the distribution of illegal images and videos involving minors. Now, in my video yesterday, I gave a challenge. I said, let's go 24 hours, 0 crimes against children, right? We're going to see if they were able to meet the challenge, right? We're going to see. That was my challenge. Just 24 hours, let the children live in peace. We're going to see in this episode today if they were able to do so. And when I say that, I'm being 100% serious. Like, I really hate having to report on so many of these type of crimes every single day, fellas. Every single day, like at least 10, 15 of these cases coming in. Fellas, come on now, fellas. Come on, fellas. After a while, it's just too much. Now, come on, let's continue. According to the criminal complaint, the police located several images of illegal activity. The most disturbing discovery involves the modern use of technology. Investigators found a photo of a victim in a bathing suit, immediately followed by another image with the exact same timestamp, believed to be computer-generated artificial intelligence of the same victim engaged in illegal activity. Oh my God, bro, this is the third case. This is the third case in 3 episodes in a row. The past 3 episodes in a row, these guys have been caught taking images of real individuals who exist in real life and then transforming those images into illegal activity, right? Illegal activity, bro. They are taking it into the future, right? They are taking it into the future. Like we already discussed on previous episodes, this demographic was the first to the market, and now we have AI. Now these guys are taking it to a different level. Now we are artificially generating illegal activity. Bro, it is crazy what is going on in the community, right? Like, it's crazy what we've uncovered, man. It's truly unbelievable what's happening out here in these streets, man. Anyway, let's continue. Mr. Jones, as a person of trust and a married man, allegedly used his position to establish contact and attempt to engage in illegal activity. He is currently being held on 2 separate cash-only bonds totaling $100,000. Now, next story, like I said, 24-hour challenge. I'm extending it. I'm extending the 24-hour challenge. Let's go 24 hours. Let's not do anything to the children. Let's let the children live in peace and prosperity and stability. Now let's continue. Next story. October 14th, today, a daycare worker abused a disabled 11-year-old child. Now, listen, in the past week and a half, we have discussed multiple just tragedies and horror stories coming out of these daycares, these babysitters. You know, a 2-year-old boy got mauled by a dog. Another newborn baby, just passed away face down. Now, today we have this lady. Now, let's get into her story. A Florida woman is behind bars. The incident occurred on October 9th at a facility for children with disabilities. The investigation was initiated after the facility's administration reported concerns about an aide, Ms. Caitlin Pitzer, who had recently been terminated. Authorities reviewed the surveillance footage of the alleged mistreatment. The video showed Ms. Pitzer forcefully pushing a child's forehead backward during an attempt to apply a bandage, causing the child's body to jerk in a manner that appeared violent and excessive, and grabbing the child aggressively and applying hand sanitizer directly onto open wounds. Ms. Pitzer acknowledged that her behavior was inappropriate, stating that she was frustrated that day and admitted that she knew that the hand sanitizer would cause pain, but she did not care at the time, and she thought that it was funny in the moment. Next story, October 14th, today. A 5-day-old baby suffered a skull fracture when the mother dropped him on the floor after she overdosed while in the hospital, right? Now, this is what these guys doing in the community. When they can't get the white women, they go to other groups of women, bringing drugs into their life, right? Bringing drugs into their life, introducing them to all type of depravity. Let's continue. The devastating case centers on the injury sustained by a 5-day-old infant and the felony charges filed against both parents, including the father, Mr. Devin Berg. The mother recently pleaded guilty to 1 count of child neglect. The incident occurred at a hospital shortly after the baby's birth, when the nursing staff found the newborn on the hard tile floor underneath the hospital bed. The infant was later confirmed to have sustained 2 linear skull fractures. Police reports indicate the baby fell when the mother became unconscious due to an alleged drug overdose while she was in the hospital. The focus is now largely on the co-defendant, Mr. Devin Berg, who has been charged as a party to the crime of child neglect. The investigation revealed that the mother admitted to police that Devin Berg was the person who supplied her with the heroin and the other drugs during the hospital visit. Despite initially denying involvement, Mr. Berg later confessed that both he and the mother were daily drug users. Furthermore, the mother admits to using marijuana and heroin while she was pregnant, resulting in the baby testing positive for cocaine, fentanyl, and THC at birth, and suffering from withdrawals, right? So listen, I thought the white man was supposed to bring abundance and prosperity, right? What happened? He got the mother of his child doing heroin while she pregnant, smoking blunts while she pregnant, doing coke while she pregnant. The baby came out the womb with withdrawal symptoms, right? Overdosing in the hospital, doing drugs in the hospital, right? Dropping the baby on the floor, skull fracture. Listen, you bringing dilapidation into the lives of these women. What happened, bro? Anyway, let's continue. Next story, October 14th, today. A man struck a pregnant woman with his vehicle over an argument over a parking spot. Man, If it ain't the children, it's the women. Now, anyway, let's continue. Let's get into it. A Florida man is facing felony charges following a dispute in a restaurant parking lot. The incident occurred on October 3rd when a woman was holding a parking space for her husband. The defendant, Brian Popula, pulled his car into the spot. When the victim told him that she was saving the space, Mr. Popula allegedly drove forward, striking her in the knee and forcing her to move back and lost her shoe. According to the arrest affidavit, the victim told law enforcement that she would have been run over if she did not move. Authorities wrote that at the distance the victim was standing, it was clear that she was pregnant. They alleged the defendant willingly and intentionally used his vehicle to move a pregnant victim out the way, striking her in the knee to gain the parking spot. The suspect admitted to the police that he told the victim, "You cannot save spots," and that he was in a rush, but he denied hitting her. He was arrested by the Broward County Sheriffs. Now listen, y'all running over pregnant women in the street. It just gets worse and worse every episode of The Culture, man. Every episode of The Culture, it just gets worse and worse. Let's continue. Next story, October 13th, yesterday. A man has been arrested for distributing illegal images and videos involving minors. Now listen, that was October 13th. So like I said, my challenge to y'all is to go 24 hours. I don't want to see any stories in October 14th when it comes to crimes against children, right? So due to the fact that this was October 13th, yesterday, this doesn't count as a loss to the challenge, right? So the challenge is still, it's still in effect, right? We haven't came across any stories yet from today anyway, right? I'm not going to count the Charlie Kirk story, the pastor, right? So the challenge is still on, right? It's still in effect. Let's continue. Next story, October 14th, today, a man has been arrested for illegal images and videos involving minors. Y'all lost their challenge, man. Y'all lost their challenge. Y'all lost their challenge, man. You see, I gave y'all, listen, I even took the Charlie Kirk story off the docket. Listen, we're not even going to count that. Give you the fresh, clean slate. Couldn't go a single day without making the headlines for debauchery and demonic activity. Not a single day goes by. Not a single day goes by where a search warrant is being executed, where somebody is being arrested, where somebody is being indicted, where somebody is being sentenced to multiple months in prison and multiple years and double-digit years, and you guys be getting life. And like, bro, not a single day goes by, right? I gave you the 24-hour challenge, and you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even do that. So listen, I'm going to give you the 24-hour challenge one more time, October 15th. We're going to come back tomorrow or the day after, and we're going to see if you were able to go a single day without engaging in demonic activity, right? 24 hours, right? Just give me one day, bro. Just give me 24 hours, just one day, right? Just one single day. Just give me one day, bro. I'm not asking for much. Really, I should ask you for, stop doing it, period, point blank. Let's get that number down a little bit, but just give me one day. Let's start small, baby steps. One day. Let's go one day without a search warrant. One day without an indictment, one day without an arrest, one day without making the news, one day. Just give me one day, bro. One day. I've been doing this series. Not a single day hasn't gone by. Just give me one day. And then we can extend it to, let's go 3 days and let's go 5 days, right? And then we can, hopefully, we got to get you off the habit. We got to get you off the addiction, right? Just give me one day. Start one day clean, right? Please. The children of America are begging you, bro. Let's continue. Next story, October 13th, yesterday, a woman gave her ex-lover a cooler containing a human fetus and then said, "Here is your kid," according to the police. Let's get into it. What's happening, man? Let's continue. Authorities have arrested 36-year-old Michaela Hyatt on one count of felony first-degree harassment after a disturbing incident occurred on September 18th. According to the affidavit, deputies responded to a call regarding a deceased fetus found inside a cooler at a residence. The victim, who had an on-again, off-again romantic relationship with the suspect, stated that the suspect had claimed to be pregnant a few months prior, a claim that he did not believe. On the afternoon before the discovery, Ms. Hyatt allegedly messaged the victim to say that she had a miscarriage. The felony charge stemmed from Ms. Hyatt's alleged actions. When she met the victim, she handed him a closed cooler stating, "Here is your child," before immediately driving off. The victim, believing it was a cruel, disturbed joke, reportedly was too scared to open the cooler for nearly 2 hours. Once he opened it, the contents contained a human fetus, prompting the victim to call the sheriffs. Now, listen, these are the horror stories that I'll be talking about. Like I said, it's either horror stories or action movies when it comes to the white community, right? Most of the time it's horror stories, but sometimes it's action movies. Now, anyway, let's continue. Next story. October 13th, yesterday, a man brake checked a driver before a fatal shooting in a high school parking lot. Let's get into it. A Texas man has been charged with murder. Mr. Jason Bartik is currently in custody. The incident began on a nearby highway when Mr. Bartik alleged that Mr. Taylor was tailgating him while driving, prompting Mr. Bartik to brake check the driver. The confrontation escalated when Bartik drove into the parking lot of a local high school and Taylor reportedly followed. According to Bartik's account to the police, now keep in mind, he's the only one still living. He's the only one still breathing, so the other guy is not alive to give his account, his summary of the events. So we got to take it with a grain of salt, right? Anyway, let's continue. According to Bartik's account to the police, Taylor exited. Now, Taylor, that's the unfortunate victim. Taylor is the victim. Taylor exited his vehicle and approached Bartik's driver's side window, yelling, and allegedly struck him in the face. Bartik claims that he then retrieved his weapon and fired 2 shots in Taylor's direction. First responders found Taylor on the ground with multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital, but was later pronounced dead. Bartik was the one who called 911 to report the incident. Now, take a look up on the screen. This is the victim, right? This is the victim. Now, of course, unfortunately, because the suspect wasn't black, this victim is not going to get, primetime coverage. They still talking about Irina Zarutska. It's been like damn near 60 days. They still talking about Irina Zarutska. But you see, guys like this, he's never going to get the coverage and the spotlight and the attention because, unfortunately, his assassin was not black. You see, his assassin wasn't black, so it's not a juicy story. It's not a headline story. It doesn't have legs. It doesn't have traction. It cannot be weaponized for political advancement. So, unfortunately, it's just going to, fall off the wayside, But that's why we have the culture, so we can talk about it. Anyway, let's continue. Next story, October 14th, today, a man has been arrested for crimes against minors. Let's continue. A man identified as Hunter Peverhouse has been arrested in Alabama on serious felony charges relating to illegal activity involving minors. According to court documents, Mr. Peverhouse was charged with traveling to meet a minor for illegal activity, along with multiple other felonies. The charges stem from Mr. Peverhouse allegedly traveling from one state to another to knowingly meet with a 13-year-old girl for illegal activity. He was booked into custody, but has posted bond. Now, welcome to the culture. Let's continue. Next story, October 13th, yesterday, a former university professor sentenced to 30 years for illegal images and videos involving minors. 30 years? Listen, when the judge starts throwing you crazy numbers like that, anything over 10 years, I already know. Listen, anything over 10 years, I'm already knowing whatever was on the material, whatever you were looking at, whatever you were filming, whatever you were sharing was of a demonic nature. Anything over 10 years, I'm already knowing you were engaged in demonic activity, right? Now, 30 years, that's terrorist activity. That's terrorist territory, right? You were terrorizing the children of the planet if they threw you 30 years, right? 30 years, bro. Because there's people that's just getting like 3 years, 5 years, right? One guy got caught with like 50,000 images. He only got like 7 years or something like that, right? If you got 30 years, bro, I don't even want to know, man. Just like that one guy we discussed who got life, right? He got a life sentence for crimes against minors. I don't even want to know the reason why the judge felt that it was necessary to give him life. I don't even want to know what he did to get life, right? So when you get 30 years for the illegal images and the videos, bro, you are in demonic territory. Now, let's get into it. A former university professor is headed to prison for 3 decades after being convicted of multiple counts of possession of illegal images and videos involving minors. Mr. Troy Mishler, 41 years old, pleaded guilty to 2 of the 10 felony charges he faced. The case began back in November 2023 when Mr. Mishler traveled to a church event in Nebraska. During a counseling session, he confessed to fellow church members that he was addicted to watching illegal images and videos involving minors. The witnesses reported his confession to the authorities. When detectives arrived at his residence, he immediately admitted to watching illegal content on the internet. Authorities executed a search warrant at his home, seizing multiple electronic devices, including 2 computer towers, a laptop, and 2 cell phones. Mishler's ex-wife also informed authorities that he had stored a hard drive from a previous computer in their laundry room, right? Ex-wife. So she probably, I guarantee you, how much money you want to bet? I bet every dollar I have in my pocket, my wallet, my bank account, every account, and every dollar that I will make in the future, that the reason why she is his ex-wife is because she found out that he was up in the basement. Whenever she went to work, he would go sneak off and watch the illegal images in the videos involving minors. And one day she caught him, or one day she discovered him, and then that's that. Right. So she snitched on him, said, listen, he got a secret hard drive over there in the basement, right, with the illegal videos. Listen. These guys, man, losing their wives, losing their families, losing their careers, losing their place in church because they are addicted to the illegal images in the videos, right? Like, I don't understand, man. You guys really got a problem with that bad, bro. When you look at the stats and the numbers, it's you guys that's dominating that whole area of activity, from the production, the distribution, and the consumption, right? You're the main driver, right? You're the main consumer and you're the main producer, right? You're the only reason the industry exists. So like I said, man, you guys are ready to risk it all for the illegal videos and the images. And it's truly a shame. It's truly demonic. It's truly barbaric. It's not godly at all. It's not, like I'm saying, you guys claim to be religious Christian. It's not godly at all, bro. It's not sanctified at all, man. It's crazy what y'all be doing, man. For real. 29% of the population. Almost 80% of the offenses. Come on, brother. Come on. You got to get it together, fellas. Anyway, let's continue. A forensic examination of his electronic devices, including his personal computer and his work computers, uncovered more than 500 illegal images and videos involving minors. He was taken into custody and the university confirmed he is no longer employed by the institution following the allegations. Now, listen. The conservatives can say whatever they want to say, right? They want to say the black man doing this, the black man doing that, right? But at the end of the day, when you look at who is dominating the stacks, leading the league in the most demonic activity, right? And keep in mind, this is not the first time we have heard this type of confession. We have heard multiple suspects give the same story to the authorities. They said, listen, I'm addicted to this. I'm addicted. This is an addiction for me. I can't stop, bro. Like, whenever I hear somebody say that, that's basically like saying, listen, we have to put you in a cage, right? We have to lock you away from society because you literally said that you're addicted. Like, you cannot stop. You're willing to risk your livelihood and your family and everything you built just for this demonic activity, bro. Like, some of y'all got to be put just, away from society, And when we examine the stats, like I said, 29% of the population, right? Over 70% of the crimes involving the exploitation of children. We have to really dive deep into what is the driver behind that. Where are those proclivities and those desires and those addictions coming from? How does one get addicted to such a thing? How does one even develop an interest in such an activity? How do you even come across such activity? Like, it's just so many questions we got to ask, right? Like, now you guys are bringing in the AI, a bunch of you guys are getting arrested because you're taking photos of children in real life and then putting it through AI to transform it into illegal activity. Like, you guys are doing things that we don't even understand, right? Using artificial intelligence and Adobe Photoshop and really going crazy with the demonic and criminal activity. So like I said, I think it's worthy of a discussion, a conversation, the same way you guys talk about, crime in the black community and the conditions in the black community and the activities of the black man and things like that. I think we should also be able to put that same mirror back up to you and talk about the criminal activity in your community and the actions and the proclivities of the white man, the same way you psychoanalyze the black man. I think when it comes to you, I think we are able to do the same, right? We have a right to do the same. And that is what provided the inspiration for this series, The Culture. Welcome to The Culture, man. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. We have finished up another episode, another legendary episode of The Culture. It's your wonderful and gracious host, Nefakari Desaline, back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Listen, pin comment at the top. Second single off the next project, The Spy in Bamako. Link in the description. Subscribe to the Patreon, NTD1814, and I'm gone. Peace. Feel like it's me. I feel like I'm Saudi or ran up on Yan in the middle of Bamako. Enemy line, they claiming they innocent. Don't do no talking. I gotta move militant. Don't do no talking. I hit them with facts. 1804, bringing it back. 1804 like I'm Mother Cap Henry. King with the vision, the crown never empty. Top of the mountain, my soldiers defend me. Ducking and dodging the foreign intelligence. Hitting my dance on the DGSE. Dodging they traps, still on my feet. Feeling impeccable, feel like I'm shining. Go to my neck and I'm flooded with diamonds. Go to my neck and I feel like like a mess. Feel like a lion, I'm in a savannah. Feel like the king when I'm up in the jungle. Never defeated, I never been humble. Come out victorious every encounter. Money machine, give me help when I count it. Money machine, stack it up in a beat. Heart of a king and I ride for the team. Weight of the world got it stuck on my shoulders. Bet you can feel it, my heart getting colder. Yeah, gotta stay focused so when it's in shots, I gotta react. Cause I'm a target, I'm under attack. Grabbing a weapon, I tell her get back. Mission exposed, secrets unfold. Enemy try, but I'm still in control. Got your boy sitting in Bamako prison. Hoping they wish we sending them home. Enemy know that we good under pressure. Been through the thunderous, turbulent storm. Shorty a diamond, I told her she fresh. Hop in a whip and I'm taking her home. Hop in a whip and I'm swerving, I'm smashed. Killing my enemies, one of my passion. Rocking this gold like we in bikini. Feel like the captain, I'm clutching a heater. Yeah, gotta stay focused so when it's in shots, I gotta react. Cause I'm a target, I'm under attack. Grabbing a weapon, I tell her get back. Mission exposed, secrets unfold. Enemy try, but I'm still in control. Got your boy sitting in Bamako prison. Hoping they wish we sending them home. Enemy know that we good under pressure. Been through the thunderous, turbulent storm. Shorty a diamond, I told her she fresh. Hop in a whip and I'm taking her home. Hop in a whip and I'm swerving, I'm smashed. Killing my enemies, one of my passion. Rocking this gold like we in bikini. Feel like the captain, I'm clutching a heat.